Much for inviting in this August gathering of the scientists and exchanging with data and others about the publication. Okay. All right. So Rumi has invited me to talk on give some lights on the medical education dispensation here. So I'll try to give an outline what is a pitiable situation. We are all so happy with this, all this information from these papers, our situation. But if you go minutely and precisely what is going on in the name of medical education in this country, we can find out that we are in a pitiable situation and real pain. May I share the screen?
Yeah, you can share it, sir. Sure.
Okay, we know. So far, we discussed about the science. Science is a spatial knowledge, and then leading to publication. But spatial is a prefix. What about the knowledge? So I'd like to talk something, give lights on medical education dispensation and some somewhat thought that will provide you some partly answer to the question of the so many speakers that is linked with the research. Now let's see medical education and medical profession. What are the components and indicators of outcome? The medical academia, the target is to produce safe doctors and scientists. Doctors, that means the knowledge holders, and the scientists will produce the what is called product knowledge, newer knowledge. The indicator is that satisfied patient, that is a big question, and the results are the credible publication and resource persons. How many of us, except very few from this country compared to the India or Thailand, are invited as resource persons across the border? It's very few. It has a heritage. You have to look back. Most of the guys in this country doesn't know how the medical education dispensation is developed and grown in our country. The lacunae in the heritage is that medical education dispensation established its service priority by the colonial administrator to serving the colonial plus some natives, and therefore you see medical institutions should be tagged with university. It's a tertiary education. It should be with the university, but it is controlled initially in the British India by the Ministry of War, and later on the Health Ministry. Till now, it is continuing. There is no self-regulation of medical institutions in our country, and until now, it is in public's, by strictly controlled by the public service rules. And therefore, I label them slave doctors by slave teachers from slave institutions. It is under direct control of the executive organ of government, and now it is aided the corporate and business houses. And tertiary education is a quasi-judicial function. Therefore, except medical education, all other education has got self-regulatory principles, disciplines, rules, and regulations. And so it is a violation of the Constitution, because our Constitution declares clean cut divide between the executive and judicial organs, but it has been compromised for medical colleges and institutions under public service rules. Today it is published in the Pratham Alo Yusak that মেডিকেলে ভর্তি পরীক্ষা স্বাস্থ্য মন্ত্রণালয়ের হাতে কেন? There are 4-5 universities, medical colleges, but medical admission test is done by the ministry through DGHS and by hired people. With my daughter medical admission, well, there was a problem. I later went for a writ against the medical admission test 2011, and I won the rate up to the full bench of the Supreme Appellate Division, and these are the observations, very pertinent. The questions are unclear, ambiguous, wrong questions, poor English and Bangla in questions, inconsistencies and contraindication between some Bangla English questions. In some questions, answer options are vague, grammatical errors in some questions. Concerned persons should be more careful and responsible and should be punished. A national exam should not be allowed to be questionable. And these were the observation. Till now, it is persisting at the will of the government. In the whole developed world, they don't call it a medical admission test. This is called a medical college or institution selection procedure. So the very knowledge holder person, a medical graduate, when a produced, you can easily understand how their knowledge, skill, and attitude status would be. So let us review today what is going on in our country. Too many medical colleges, I don't know how many number, public and private, are mushrooming, outnumber the public medical colleges. Curriculum, there are many changes, but very interesting. It is empirical and now it is unmanageable. You will find that the content of the curriculum is inconsistent with the period allotted. The selection of the students and teachers, examinations, regulatory bodies, governance. And you will find here a lot of conflict of interest. What are the issues? Plagued regulatory bodies. A public servant in the this is BMDC Medical Council, he will always compromise as per dictation of the executive organ of the government. He cannot override executive discretion. Conflict of interest. Sorry. Tilted balance of production versus demand of medical graduates. Non-networking. And most important thing, we have crushed the base of general practitioner and family medicine practitioner base. Education, research, training seriously compromised. There is budget for so many things, for a journal from a medical college. For the publication cost, we have till now run for aid from the pharmaceutical industries. No self-regulation. So quasi judicial status is ignored. That is a violation of Constitution. Yeah. And there are survival of YOLO professionalism. There are some endemic nodes. There is not a single center of professional grooming in this country except armed forces medical colleges. Not a single center for appropriate care, networking, user-friendly, empathic care linkage, credible research and publication. I mean, in general, not as an exception, guidelines and self-regulations, protection of professional rituals, covenants and mandates, and most of the guys don't know them at all. Trust and social capital eroded much. Proactive evolution for evidence-based shaping and reshaping, no role of decision-making. This is the report recently, Shikha Cholche Theka Diye. Teachers, lacking of teachers, and you go into a public hospital in the internal medicine or other clinical wards, there is no environment for what is called students clinical teaching or training. What is happening here? Establishment of a medical college or increasing the number of students, the wish is enough. And both in public and private sector, best training now, decreasing the regulatory needs, for feeding the private medical colleges, the qualifying marks now reduced, utilization of craze of the parents and others, window shopping teaching, that is the part-time teaching, makeup of examiners, pleasurable results. I'm sure everybody will understand what do I mean by pleasurable results, downward spiral of standard, no vision or plan, just cancerous growth. So the horrible tomorrow is too many doctors. Now there are about for 5, that is fostering yellow professionalism, slave laborer doctors. Recently I find some ads where the salary is 10K, but a driver's salary is more than 30,000, Corporations and government shall be compelling more spineless professionals, more loss of trust. And that is shown during this COVID crisis. It's found that how doctors are spineless as a frontline worker, neglected, more loss of trust, and fostering medical tourism, invasion and invitation of foreign doctors. So to change, liberation of medical education dispensation, a self-regulation is a must. There should be a clean-cut roadmap, an appropriate goal. That goal is safe doctors and scientists, the quantity as per customized to the national need, the personnel, evidence-based updating of curriculum, training and others. There should be a benchmark and accreditation, collaboration, exchange, communication and connectivity, integration with mainstream education institution. It is supposed to that the medical college should be an integral faculty of an university. And so interesting thing, there is 4 universities are established without campus and without students. And that reminds me of the movie Yes Minister, or Naker Bodole Norun Pelam Taire Naire Na. That is, without just what is called administrative group, it's an university. And another university is a BSMMU. There is no undergraduate students. It is said that undergraduate education nourished at the lap of postgraduates. So with this incomplete or handicapped university, we are continuing a pitiable situation. I'm sorry. These are the pains. And this is the issue of what is called of a mourning and melting heart. How pitiable situation of us, of knowledge. So a knowledge holder and the knowledge dispensation. If the situation, if the, then what would be the situation of the spatial knowledge of the science that is to be reflected through research and publications, credible, of course. So thank you very much. Thank you indeed.
Thank you, sir, for this rude awakening. We needed this reality check, and medical education is at the foundation pillar of any kind of medical research excellence if we want to show from this country. What our research has done, they have reached highest echelon of research despite the faulty education. But again, thank you very much for your emphatic speech and eye-opening reality check and rude awakening. And I didn't expect any less from you, sir. Thank you.